If Brownsville, Texas has ever crossed your mind, even for a second, I need you to stop what you're doing and watch this entire video. I'm about to show you something that most people are sleeping on. And I'm not saying that just to hype you up. I'm saying it because I'm on the ground here. I see what's getting built, I see who's moving in, and I see where the money is going. And the picture it's painting is so hard to ignore. This isn't a maybe someday type of market. This isn't a sleeper city that might pop off in 20 years. What's happening in Brownsville right now, in real time, is the kind of early stage growth that people look back and say, why didn't I move there sooner? The people who are going to get in now are going to look like geniuses in 5 years from now. And the people who wait, they're going to be watching prices go up that they might not be able to afford in the future. So let's get into it. But real quick, if you're new here and if you've been searching things like moving to Brownsville or best places to live in Texas, or is Brownsville a good place to live, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm not here to sell you on a fantasy. I'm here to give you the real picture of the market so you can make a smart move, not an emotional one. That's what this channel is built on. Now let's talk Texas first, because you can't understand what's happening in Brownsville unless you zoom out. Here's something that isn't said enough. Texas is not just doing well, it's dominating. In 2025, Texas ranked the #1 state in the entire nation for inbound migration, according to U-Haul. More people packed up their lives and relocated to Texas than any other state in the US. Not Florida, not Tennessee, not the Carolinas, Texas. And this isn't a one-year fluke either. Texas has ranked #1 7 out of the last 10 years. That's not a trend, that's a permanent shift in how people are thinking about where to live and to build their lives. So the main question that people ask me, why? Why Brownsville? What's pulling people towards this city? And honestly, it's not just one thing, it's multiple things stacking together. No state income tax, lower cost of living compared to other coasts, a business environment that actually supports growth, job markets are expanding instead of contracting, and a quality of life that people from New York, Illinois, and California are chasing because they're exhausted from what they're leaving behind. I talk to people every single week who are making the move, and almost every one of them says the same thing. I wish I had done this sooner. Now, within Texas, there are obvious cities that most of us know about, like Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. Those names pop up immediately. But here's where the conversation is starting to shift in a major way. For a long time, Brownsville was off the radar for out-of-state movers. People weren't thinking about South Texas. They weren't thinking about the Rio Grande Valley. However, that's changing fast. According to the U-Haul Growth Index, the Brownsville Metro ranked top 10 in the entire United States for growth in 2025. And the Brownsville-Harlingen Metro came in at #10 nationally among other cities. Think about what that means. That ranking isn't based on vibes or speculation. It's based on economic strength, workforce readiness, and real growth potential. It's the same data that corporations use when they're deciding where to invest their millions of dollars. Brownsville is officially on the map. And the people who recognize that early on are the ones who benefit the most. Let me tell you something that doesn't make headlines often, but absolutely should. The Port of Brownsville. This is one of the only deep water ports in the US-Mexico border. And right now, it's in the middle of a major expansion. The ship channel is being deepened from 42 to 52 feet to accommodate larger vessels and a significant increase in global trade. So why does that matter to somebody who's thinking about moving here? Because port expansion is one of the clearest leading indicators of long-term economic growth that exists. When you deepen the port, you're not just doing it for fun. You're doing it because the volume of cargo, commerce, and activity is growing, and you need the infrastructure to match it. We saw it play out in Houston. We saw it play out in Corpus. The port expands, companies follow, jobs grow, people follow, and real estate follows. It's the same cycle seen every time. And here's what makes Brownsville's position even more powerful. This city sits inside a binational economic region of over 1.1 million people with a direct connection to Mexico. That means trade, manufacturing, and logistics aren't just possibilities here. They're already happening and they're scaling up. This is not a small border town hoping for a break. This is a strategically located economic hub that the rest of the country is barely starting to figure out. Let me make this simple. Jobs drive growth. Population drives housing demand. Housing demand drives prices up. That's the cycle, and in Brownsville, that cycle is starting to spin. You've got industrial expansion happening, logistics infrastructure being built out, companies that are entering our market that wouldn't have even batted an eye at us 5 years ago. And the data backs it up. Brownsville has seen a significant increase in higher income households over a short window of time, more than doubling. That's not a small data point, that's a signal. When higher income earners start relocating to the market, it changes the entire demand curve for housing. They're not looking for the cheapest option. They're looking for quality and they'll pay for it. That puts upward pressure on prices across the board. So if you're watching this and wondering if you've already missed the window, you haven't, but the window isn't gonna stay open forever. The time to get into Brownsville is now. By the time the city is on the news, by the time your coworker is talking about it, by the time it shows up in a major magazine article, it's already gonna be expensive. The opportunity might be gone. You'll be buying at top dollar instead of the bottom. People saw it with Austin, people saw it with Nashville, people saw it with the Dallas suburbs. People who bought early are sitting on equity that they never would have dreamed of. People who waited are either priced out or still renting. Brownsville is still in that early phase. Prices are still affordable. Competition is still manageable. You can still walk into a situation with negotiating power. But all of that's changing. And that's changing because of everything that we just talked about. Migration, port expansion, job growth, and national rankings. When all of those forces align in one place, prices don't stay flat. They move and they move fast. The combination of a strong Texas foundation, a booming port economy, rising income levels, and national attention on this market, that's not a recipe for prices going sideways. That's a recipe for significant appreciation. I want to be transparent with you because this is important. Brownsville is not always going to stay at these price points. Right now, you can find a brand new construction 3-bedroom home around 1,800 square feet in the low 300,000s. You can also find a brand new construction 4-bedroom home around 2,200 square feet in the mid 400,000s. Right now, you still have plenty of options. You can find great homes in prices that almost feel too good to be true compared to California or Arizona or Seattle or Chicago. These are prices that you can still negotiate. You can still get into an entry point that makes long-term financial sense. The people who acted early built equity. People who watch from the sidelines wish they pulled the trigger when they had the chance. I don't want that to be you. If you've stayed with me this long and you're not casually browsing, you're actually considering this. So do yourself a favor and subscribe to my channel right now, because I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in this market as it continues to develop. New builds, neighborhoods, price trends, home tours, watch all of it. You want to be informed as much as you can before you make this move, not guessing. Let me tell you exactly who this makes sense for. If you're relocating from a high-cost living state and you're tired of your paycheck disappearing, Brownsville lets you stretch what you have further than almost anywhere else in Texas. If you've looked at Austin, Dallas, or Houston and felt like that ship has already sailed for affordable housing, Brownsville is where the opportunity still exists. If you want long-term appreciation and you're thinking about this as a wealth-building move, not just a lifestyle move, the fundamentals here are pointing in one direction. If you want coastal access, warm weather year-round, mild winters, and a city that's growing without losing its density, this checks off boxes in a way that a lot of Texas cities can't. Brownsville is the market that rewards people who show up before everyone else does. Here's the bottom line. The data is real, the growth is real, and the opportunity is real. And the only question is whether you're going to act on it while it actually makes sense or wait until the story is already over. If you're serious about making the move, call me directly. I work with people who are relocating to Brownsville and the RGV every single day. I was born and raised here. I know the market, I know the neighborhoods, and it would be an honor to help guide you to the right place. I'm Cassandra, your champion realtor. Thanks for watching.